What you waiting on? Come together. We got to get together. We come together. Have a solid water. Come together. We got to get together. We come together. Have a solid water. Come together. We got to get it together. We come together. Have a solid water.
Yes, indeed. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. This once again is your brother Abdul Wadu, aka Questman, coming at you with another live. Okay, just like that. There we are. This is your brother. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, hotep, peace be with you. And let me turn this fan down a little bit because I can hear it in the mic. Um, we've got another live panel discussion going on here in our efforts towards, becoming, a unified body, a unified nation, an authentic nation, officiated from us, about us, by us, looking for approval from no one else but us, and authenticating and being professional and recognized by us, not looking for any type of um, say so or whatnot from anyone else. This is self determination at its finest. So today we've got, as I say, a live panel, and let's see here, boom. Um, we're gonna have with us today our brother Shaka. We're gonna have with us Elena, Sister Elaina, and myself. I thought there was another person, but okay, all right. So, can you say her name again? Candida. And we have Sister Candida will be on the panel as well when she returns on the panel. Um, so basically, beloved family, the viewers that are watching, shalom, peace be with you. I see you coming in. Um, you know, Let me remind those. We may have, you know, put it on a side note, but I want to put it on the front note to remind the family of August 21st. So remember, August 21st is the day, it's on a Saturday, the Just Be Black gathering. And it's here, it's being hosted here in Cleveland, Ohio, where we get together because we decide to be together. We want to be together. And we believe in an intellectual unity. We believe that, that there can be no full unity without us uniting together our minds, our thoughts, our ideals, and coming at the table to implement, common codes of conduct and so on. So that's August 21st. and we're trying to get some of the brilliant minds amongst us, so that way we can sit down and make this happen in the forms of manifesting self-determination for our people. Um, and we're looking for a very positive outcome, a very positive, a very um, uh, thorough result from this. And so in that case, we definitely want to be optimistic, prayerful, contemplative, and so on. All the things that put in us the spirit that, hey, when we do something, this is authentic. This is real. We don't need, a Sean Connery narration to authenticate what we do and to make official, what we do. We don't have. We don't need the Queen of England, to speak on our behalf to say, oh, okay, it's now official. The black people are manifesting self-determination. The black people are a nation because we have declared it so. Look, um, we need to think a little better about ourselves as a people. We need to, believe in ourselves more. We need to believe in our intellectual capacities. The resources from our scholarship, the resources from our adepts, the resources from our activists, our leaders. And with that said, I want to remind the family to make sure that we are mindful of those who have been striving in the way, but for one reason or another, they had found themselves in a very conflicting situation, to where in their innocence they would be arrested and incarcerated, or arrested and made to be silenced. So we want to make sure that we are mindful of them, and of those that I could mention. We remember that Sasha X had been hospitalized. She was a sister that was on the front line overseas in London, I believe, standing up, for the cause. And as a result, some people, felt the need to cause her harm that could have been deadly, and she is was in the was hospitalized. So we want to make sure our prayers are for her healing, and that we're paying attention to that. As they say, all eyes on Sasha X. We also want to make sure that we're mindful of one of the front runners in this, who many of us wouldn't even be talking how we're talking now. We wouldn't even be, we wouldn't have the adrenaline rush, the drive. Even though many of us have been about black unity, we didn't start really standing up the way we're standing up today, had it not been for our beloved brother Grandmaster Jay. So we have to give credit due to do where credit is due, and respect where respect's due, because that was the momentum that the black family needed to stand up and say, okay, he's standing up. We need to stand up with him. Unfortunately, those powers that be, felt rubbed the wrong way, and you wanted to hinder the brother's efforts by silencing him. And so there's the challenge of the day, where the brother is facing court challenges. You understand? Facing charges, federal charges and state charges. And so let me remind you that we need to be involved in supporting that brother's GoFundMe. And I believe that I could show you like this. And if I can't, um, you know that the GoFundMe for Grandmaster J is the Grandmaster J Legal Defense Fund, and it's being hosted by uh, Sister Eleanor Harvey. And much respect and salute to her for her efforts of keeping that up and running. Um, so make sure, if you're going to be doing any kind of donating, put some dollars there as well, because these legal situations are getting serious, and we, at the end of the day, have only our own to rely on. You understand? One of the things I was talking to a brother about the other day, we tout uh, supporting black-owned businesses and things of that nature, but a lot of times, if black-owned businesses were to thrive off of that, many black-owned businesses will go out of business, because we're not fully wholeheartedly supporting them. You're still stopping by McDonald's, you're still going to Starbucks, you're still showing up at Dunkin' Donuts, whatever, instead of being wholeheartedly about supporting black-owned businesses. If you support black-owned businesses more often, and we complain, oh, the prices are too high. Well, the more black family that supports it, it brings down those prices because there's more profit for the companies. If you got to make a profit margin, and if no one's showing up from your own people, you got to open up your channels to other people to come in and do business with you. That's just the way business works. um Also, we want to make sure we're mindful and keeping a strong positive narrative of our beloved warrior who was incarcerated. You understand? And I would say that the God knows best why, what the circumstances were, but we do know that we speak in favor of our brother because we know our brother Ozone was a warrior. He was standing up for the cause in the community, and we want to make sure that any narrative speaking about this brother is nothing but the positive narrative and the correct narrative of a loving father, a caring community activist, one standing up for the rights and justice of his people. That's the brother that they've got locked up. You understand? So we want to make sure that the proper channels are reached so that the brother gets the right representation legally, the right legal representation. Make sure you're paying attention to that. Um, let's see here. Give me a second. Also, our good beloved brother, Mighty Spite, our brother Spite, Kente, we want to make sure we're mindful of his situation. You understand? His wife is on the front line, a warrior for him. She's been standing up strong, in the cause of her husband, and we want to make sure we're standing in strong equally for the cause of our beloved brother. You understand? Who it was adamant and about that business, and again, ended up being one of those subjected to the wrath of the establishment because the establishment is making it clear that they're not too keen on us being unified. You understand? And so, any one of us, when we start to rise up and look like we're showing signs of, hey, we're doing some actual unity, you understand, without their permission, without their authorization, but because this is who we are. It's in us. It's in us. It's about us. It's our spirit beckons us to be unified. You understand? So make sure that you tap into the proper channels to make so that brother Spite gets what he needs. And I'm hearing that he's looking towards a bond soon. So just check in. I do know that brother Oshi the Great has been doing a great job at keeping the family updated. So check in on Oshi the Great TV. You know what I'm saying? So that you can make sure you're on the right channels. With that said, I also want to make sure the family knows that, look, we need to make sure that we're not getting, what I want to say, led astray by misinformation. So make sure, you get to know, ones like OC the Great. You understand? Ones like Major TV. You understand? Ones that are out there, that that they're making sure that what they do and what they present is authentic. You understand? If you're not hearing it from these brothers, if they're not showing you the links or showing you, what the know-how, then you might want to question, who's telling you what and who's giving you what. You understand? Make sure you lock in, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell on these brothers' channel. Another source is TNT with Mike and Jazz. Make sure you're locking in on these channels. You understand? So that way, you get the right information. You understand? Because there's a lot of folks. We've got enemies on all sides. We got enemies from without. We got enemies from within, and everybody trying to run game of make some type of profit off of our drama and off of our our trends and whatnot. So make sure if these brothers ain't telling you the links or whatnot, then it's probably not an authentic link. So you might want to you might want to check in with the family to make sure you're on code when it comes to where you're sending your support to. You understand? So that's what we want to say about that. Um, So from this point, we already have met Sister Elena before. She is one of those that has intentions to come to the Just Be Black gathering August 21st, and we look forward to seeing her there. Very insightful sister, and one of those that is definitely on code when it comes to um, the essentials that we need when it comes to this nation building self determination process that we're endeavoring upon. So I'm your brother Abdul Wadud, aka Quest Man, and make sure that if you want to participate in supporting the Just Be Black Gathering, you can go to the GoFundMe, the Just Be Black Gathering. Make sure it says my name, Abdul Wadud, down there as the host for that GoFundMe. Or if you not dealing with the GoFundMe, you can just drop it in the Cash App, $ the Light Dome. That's how you get that done. Any Need any more information, you can go ahead and reach me, your brother, at the Light Dome at souljourneyoflife.com or souljourneyoflife.social at gmail.com. Okay. So I also encourage the black family, you know what I mean, to embrace our own, including our own conscious social media platform, souljourneyoflife.org. Souljourneyoflife.org. Make sure you sign up and you can chat, share, video conference call, all that you want to do on any other social media platform. You can do it right there. Check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to have a quick intermission, and we will be bringing our guests on board here. Okay, let me turn the mic on so everyone else can hear you. All right, so I want to make sure you say something, so I want to make sure that they can hear you.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings.
Okay. I saw the audio, so I'm sure they can hear you because if I see it there, they can hear it there. All right, so we want to welcome our guests, Sister Elena and Brother Shaka is here, and I believe we have another guest who will be back when she gets here as well. Um, so first of all, I want to make sure that we get a proper introduction. So I'm going to start sisters first. Sister Elena, can you care to sort of give a sort of a short presentation of yourself?
Yes, I am the one of the original co-founders of the African Descendant Nation that was founded in 2017, and co-founder of the African Descendant Confederation, uh, founded in 2018, and also one of the co-facilitators of the official National Liberation Movement that was filed under duress uh, in 2020. I'm also the co-founder of the Pendo Center for Human Rights and Self-Determination.
Okay, welcome. Now, Brother Shaka, you're with us here today as well. Would you like to give a brief introduction of yourself?
Yes, sir. I'm Brother Shaka Malik Nafari. I'm National Chief of Staff of the People's New Black Panther Party under the leadership of National Chairman Yakanan Ben Yah. I'm also local chairman, Las Vegas chairman of the People's New Black Panther Party, and chairman also of the Huey P. Newton Gun Club,
Okay.
Las Vegas chapter.
Um, Give me a second here. I believe my little girl took my pen. Hmm. Okay. So much for that. All right. So, well, again, welcome both of you. Um, we want to begin. I want to begin and try to um, see if we could start off by building on why it's important for us to establish. First of all, Sister Elena, in your perspective, what is it that we're trying to establish? What is our objective? Um, with what we could say here. What what is our aspirations from these steps that we're going towards right now?
Well, there are several dynamics I can go through, and I'm going to start from a people-centered perspective, and then I'm going to speak on the legal perspective, and then I'm going to speak on the political perspective.
Okay.
The people perspective of what we're trying to do intellectually is bring our people together to unify ourselves. We are so disorganized that it's really killing the movement.
Mm.
The goal is to be self-determined. The goal is to release all of our political prisoners. The goal is immediate reparations, and the goal is uh, we build this nation.
Okay.
That is from the people-centered perspective. From the legal perspective, we need to all get on one page and understand what rights have been violated in terms of our identity, which affects our political status, which affects our economic base, social economic base, and it also affects our right to develop. I do believe I read an article stating that we were 232 years behind Euro America. That's unacceptable.
Right.
That is from the legal perspective. Our rights are being violated, starting with our identity, our right to self identify. Uh, because we have not self identified properly, we're treated like immigrants. And as a result, our human capital, wealth, power, and resources are absorbed, misappropriated, and used to not only reinforce domestic white supremacy, but
Mm.
it's also used to reinforce hegemony. That is from an economic and a legal perspective. From a political perspective, we have been trained like lapdogs to think that our political fate lies within the Democratic and Republican Party,
Mm.
when that is not true. They're both wings on the same bird that's been flying away with our wealth, our power, and our resources and our land.
Can you, if you could, for the family, can you define more clearly as it relates to us self determination?
Self-determination. First of all, I've got to go back and explain political units. Uh, we are not a simple minority. We are peoples. We have the same historical connection. We're tied to the same land base. We've undergone the same type of oppression. And we're what you call a colonized people.
Mm-hmm.
And we're indigenous to this United States, North America, to the Americas, and we have a birthright in Africa too. That means we're what you call an autochthonous indigenous peoples.
Mm,
And we have legal rights to land rights, cultural rights to control our own land spaces that we have not scratched the surface on because we have not taken the time to sit down and do the research and sit down and understand our problem is a multifaceted, multidisciplined problem. We have a legal problem, we have an economic problem, and we have a major political problem.
right.
Now, what is self determination? Self determination is the highest aspiration of freedom that a people could aspire to achieve. It's the same, I use it as synonymous with sovereignty. Our sovereignty was interrupted with the colonization of the Americas because Black Americans were here when this European got here, and our sovereignty was interrupted when our last wave of ancestors came across the transatlantic slave trade. Our sovereignty was displaced. Our ancestors never gave it up, and nor should we. And every time we have people that run in front of us and tell us, oh, you better vote Democrat. Oh, you better vote Republican, or
So
you're not going to get any resources. We're doing ourselves a disservice because we don't know that we have collective international rights to organize politically as a
mm,
nation of people. So
okay,
self-determination allows us, gives us the political freedom that we need to develop and to grow. And I yield the floor.
brother Shaka, you might want to turn on your mic.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm sorry.
Would you care to add anything, any more details on that self determination question?
Um, I don't. She's a tough act to follow. I don't know. I don't know if I can expound on it any more than that. She pretty much summed it all up. Um,
Well, let
I
me
told.
ask you this. Um, in your opinion, in your honest opinion, as it is today, are we free? And if we are, how? If we're not, how? How so?
I don't think that we are. I don't think that we are physically, spiritually, or financially.
So, okay, can you break that down a little bit more?
Well, I would say, we basically have been, institutionalized to the point where our whole way of thinking, as far as religion, is based off what we've been educated to believe. The way we handle our finances, the things that we do, we're basically, educated into how we do that. We don't have much of our own to really put into stuff that's for us. So basically, I just feel like, altogether, we're not free. Physically, we getting up every day, working the job to do for their system and their society, and it doesn't contribute to at all to what we really want to do for ourselves,
Right.
for the most part. So I would say, like I say, physically, financially, and spiritually, we're still held in captivity to a certain extent.
So then let me ask you this, because I could hear uh, certain ones, that look like us right now, expressing, that somehow they are free. Um, in today's world, you've got entertainment. You can go watch the games. You can go to Walmart. You can go to this place, that place. You can live your life. You can buy a house. You can mow your lawn. You can do all these different things. Okay, so if a person, that sees this, or somehow feels like these are um, you know, points of interest that prove that they're free, how would you be able to explain to them that, what would you say to them in that type of scenario?
Well, we get into these debates, a lot within our community. When we do community patrols and we're out there doing the things that we do to engage ourselves with the community. There's always questions, that lead back to this, and like I tell them all the time, we're just on a longer leash. If you look back in time, in the ancient days or whatever, when it came to the Romans always had some type of entertainment for the people to keep them occupied, keep their minds occupied,
Hmm.
and they thought they were free. But like I say, they were always putting something before their face to keep them distracted. You know, when you look at the what's it, the 13th Amendment, we have individuals that are being incarcerated, and they're treated like slaves or whatever within the prison systems and stuff like that. So I mean, like I say, whenever you try to step out to exercise your freedom, you're reminded quickly that you're not free. If the evidence that we're not free is the fact that when you do step up to say what it is that you believe in, you are instantly, I would say contained by this society. You're put into a box by this society, and you can see that with all the political prisoners that we have. The brothers and sisters that are locked up right now to this day
Right.
because they spoke their mind about something that they believe in their heart is to be true.
Now, that brings me to another point. I'm glad you brought us there because, we've got, young brothers and sisters, aspiring to stand up, and aspiring to speak out against injustice and things like that. Just like the ones that you've mentioned that, now find themselves incarcerated or silenced, or dealing with some type of troubles of a sort with the establishment, right?
Yes, sir.
um how could we, um I mean, what can you say, what can we do as a people, one, to look out for brothers and sisters that stand up, and because the other side of this is we definitely don't want to be cowards, you
Right,
understand? We don't want to be cowards, we don't want to be dummies either, and we don't want to be, we don't want to respond or react with emotions.
right,
And we're dealing with warriors. You understand? The people that have been captured were warriors. They weren't dummies. They weren't. They were, in many cases, they were following the code, and
right.
still found themselves in a situation where, um, they're locked up. So people, in the community that's out there trying to make a difference, um, what advice can you give them so that way they don't lose steam, they don't lose the motivation, and that they handle their way with care? What can we say to them?
Well, what I would say, basically off tops, we all have our own ways of fighting, this war. You
Mm,
don't, everyone doesn't have to get out there in uniform like how I do. It would help, but whatever gift and talent that you have, you should be using it to, to enlighten others and teach others, that this is not acceptable. What we're going through is not acceptable. Use your voice, use your pen. If you have a platform, a YouTube or social media platform, use that platform. But the biggest thing is to open your mouth and to speak and to support each other, support those who are trying to break free,
right.
support those who are willing to take the chances and risk their lives and their freedom. Like you would look at brother Grandmaster Jay.
Right.
He risked his life.
That's right.
He put his all on the line. We all do who get out there in those uniforms, who get out there with those weapons. And so the biggest thing we can do is support those individuals and not always be so quick to throw them up under the bus.
That's right.
Look at their deeds. I was taught that you judge a man, that you look not at the flesh, but you look at the spirit. And if you look at the deeds of those individuals, that should tell you that these people are genuinely after the hearts of the people. Now, don't get me wrong, we have flaws. We all have flaws. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We cannot expect, see, we expect in the Messiah somebody that is completely flawless, completely without sin, without flaw. And that's impossible, in my opinion, from
Mm.
what I see around me. You have to be realistic and understand that these people are flawed. We all are flawed. And what we're doing is trying to step outside of ourselves and be a better people, be a better person for our people.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
like I say, to answer your question, I know I'm long winded, but to answer your question, to just fight, because we have to fight on all different levels. There's not one way to fight.
Mm.
If you are intellectual, you have to learn how to fight with that. If you are a bookworm, or if you are a martial artist, you have to learn how to fight with that, and that's
Mm.
by teaching and spreading the knowledge of what's going on, making
Yeah.
people aware, like Sister Porter does. Letting people know their human rights. A lot of people don't even know that they are enslaved. They don't even know that they have these particular rights, and that's another reason why I would say that we are enslaved, because you don't know that you have these rights. So
Mm-hmm.
how can you operate freely?
That's right. That's right, Brother Shaka.
And Sister Elena, with that in mind, we have a situation where we have this culture where when one of us or some of us rise up, we always find ourselves facing our greatest opposition, our greatest hindrance from amongst our own people. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
More so than than the known adversary, more so than the known opponent. You understand?
Yes.
And so we're trying to in our efforts to unify. You understand? How how can we create the type of uh, unification. And before I even begin to deal with the, the known adversaries from within, I want to break it down even further. We're divided on so many different fronts. You understand? Philosophically, religiously. You understand? We've got so many perspectives. We've got everybody that's got a plan. Or coming with a plan, or coming with something, and it's their way or no way. um how do we organize this? How do we see? What I'm saying here is, out of that body, I have no doubt that many of the people that are standing up um are 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 sincere. I believe that many of them are sincere, but everybody wants their name on something. Everybody wants their perspective or their views acknowledged, over all else. So where do we bring the needle and thread out to sew all this together in a cohesive way that makes sense? Do you understand what I'm getting at?
I feel you. And I'm going to start with one of the things that I see that we need to do. And again, I've been in this movement for a minute.
Mm,
And one of the biggest things that we're dealing with is ignorance,
mm,
legal ignorance, political ignorance, and economic ignorance. But let's deal with the legal ignorance. I'm sorry, but I can't unify with an integrationist. I won't unify with one because I have seen the statistics. I know the numbers. I know what laws apply to us as a people and as a colonized people. And I know that we're entitled to immediate reparations. So I'm sorry, I won't sit in the same room with an integrationist.
mm-hmm.
We can't be on the same team. We don't have anything in common politically. They're my adversary.
Okay.
But what I can do is build a common ground with people who are ready to be free, people who want those political prisoners immediately released, people who want to build a future for the future generations to come, free of oppression, free a self-determining future.
Hmm.
That means controlling our resources. But in order to do that, we have to come up under one umbrella, formally, as a national liberation movement, because that gives us the political space that we need to access resources, access agencies, because we have to remember we are dealing with one of the most oppressive apartheid regimes in the history of the world.
Yes.
Us having this conversation puts us at risk right now because they know what we're trying to do is a power move. What's keeping us separated is ignorance, lack of knowledge, lack of good judgment, and we've gotten away with showboating for a
Mm.
long time. But we can't showboat anymore. The writing is on the wall. We don't own and control anything. So we have to unify under nationhood, self determination, and immediate reparations because we are on life support right now. At
Right.
any time, we could be rounded up, carted off to FEMA camps, and gassed.
Mm.
And we can't even throw a stone. We have no plan, and we have to get one.
Yes.
As a collective, official collective, not this ragtag, uh, mobbish, thuggish stuff that we've seen. The rest of the world, when they see us and they see some of the things that's going on, and I know for a fact because I get the phone calls and I'm in contact with these people, they don't take us seriously.
Mm.
We have to unify, get serious, and if self determination is what we want, a nation is what we want, we have rights that we can assert officially as a political unit, the precursor before nation building, we can assert our status as colonial people.
You know, it makes me think
That's
about
how we can unify.
when you mentioned about that they don't take us seriously, and sometimes I think about when I see event encounters where one of ours is dealing with the police, and they're trying to obey the law and follow all the rules and be respectful to them and everything, and all the while you can see this smirk.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a smirk that they give, you know what I mean, when they're looking at you like you know, they're like you said, they're not taking anything serious. We're a joke to them. You understand? And even if you could be a professional status, you could be a manager of a
Mm-hmm.
business or something like that. None of that matters to them. They'll have that smirk as
Mm-hmm.
they're treating you however they choose. And I also see the same thing when it comes to us communicating and talking to them. You understand? If we're trying to air out our grievance, like, look, sir, here's what's happening. Here's why I'm protesting to you, or here's why I'm questioning what your motives are, and they're looking like, ha ha, So I mean, this endeavor to be taken seriously, I believe is vital as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm asking is, what what will make it so that what about us, what actions or that we can put forth that will make it clear that, look, we are serious. I'm saying this
Well,
because we've got, I mean, I can't think of the individual's name right now. There's a certain reverend that comes to mind that every time you hear this guy talk, you would think that racism doesn't exist, that everything is just cotton candy clean, nothing's going on. We're just delusional. What are we talking about? That's the
mm-hmm.
that's the impression you get from listening to this guy. And the problem with that is he's not alone. You know what I mean? You end up finding out that there are other people who just have that same mindset. And sometimes there's others that are even worse, where they don't even feel like they have anything to do with any of this. This is none of their
Mm-hmm.
business. You understand?
Yes.
Leave me alone. I ain't on none of that. What do you just go you do you, brother? Leave me alone. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I got
Well, those people, I like that attitude because here's the thing: leave us alone as well. That's my thing. Hey, I have no problem. I've dropped a lot of friends.
yeah,
It's a lot of people I don't communicate with. If I don't see eye to eye, and I'm telling you, I'm adamant about our right to self-determination and our identity.
yeah,
Anyone that's talking about doing anything that's taking away our land rights and our political rights that we have here, you're my enemy.
yeah.
Point blank, you're my enemy. If you try to tell us, oh, you can't be free here in the United States, when I know for a fact we got rights, land rights, rights to immediate reparations if we assert them, and that
Hmm.
we got to go find freedom in a whole nother continent. When you have your resources right here, you're my enemy. Now, not to say we don't have ties to the motherland
Right.
and that we can't secure, protect, and defend the motherland, but I'm not taking one bite out of my family's mouth
Mm.
to send to a continent of such wealth. Well, it's just written with puppet leadership.
Mm.
Written. I mean, where it's been allowed.
Yes.
Okay, we have to get real. Okay, the same colonization that's on here in the United States is there on the continent.
See,
So anyone that tries to confuse our identity
yeah,
and to confuse our rights and our rights to land and our rights to the gratuities here as being an indigenous people, I can't unify with
mm.
you
So,
because you're misconstruing our resources and you're putting us in a bad position. We have to unify around pertinent information.
right.
We have to unify around reality and a clear political agenda. You can go have all the rallies you want,
Mm.
but if your objective is not to secure, protect, and defend your rights and your political status that will guarantee your right to pass down intergenerational political power, intergenerational wealth to your families, and carve out a political space that guarantees whether the White House open doors, open or close, we gonna eat anyway, then I can't partner with you.
Right.
We have to set clear political objectives.
So there are those who will willingly. I'm talking about the opponents from amongst our own, who will
Mm-hmm.
willingly, go their separate ways with no problem. But then there are those who it makes me think of a story. I'll put this like this: Muhammad, who uh, who is called the prophet, right? Had where when he would propagate, when he would go out there and talk and propagate his message, there was always a person who would kind of follow him up and try to speak just the opposite, or rain on his parade, so to speak. Like if he would say such and such and such and such, this person will come along and flip the script and say the opposite, or somehow try to, like, oh, don't worry about that, or don't listen to him, or don't do that. In our time, as we are trying to motivate and encourage self-determination, encourage a sense of unity, encourage all the building blocks essential for nation building, right? um we've got people who are just like adamant. They won't just go their separate ways, right? They won't just, okay, you do you, we'll do us. That's not them. Instead, they feel they feel like obligated to size us up and try to chop us down just as much as we're trying to stand up. I mean, they've got whole platforms where this
Well,
is all they do.
we're in hybrid warfare, my brother.
Yeah.
I did a thorough study on that. Right now, what you're seeing is hybrid warfare, and that comes with the territory. The reason why it's shocking to us is because we don't have an international knowledge. But
Mm.
colonized people all over the world know that you're going to have your agent provocateurs. It
Yeah.
comes with the territory of what we're trying to do. But what we do need to do to avoid those things, and that's what me and you we're working on right now with this platform, is bring the minds together on the 21st.
Yes.
And we're going to lay out some strategic plans and put some things in place,
Mm.
and put them in place so concretely that when one deviates away from those things, even while they're talking on these platforms, we'll have a code word to say, we got to get rid of you.
Right.
So that's the type of things that we're going to put in place. Also, the transfer of information. That's why I'm so happy to partner with you.
Yes.
The transfer of information is being weaponized. Social media is being weaponized. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some things in place, official documents.
Mm.
Whatever I put out, it's going to be here on this website first if anyone wants to access it.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to alleviate on the 21st a lot of things that has been detrimental to this movement,
Mm.
and that's been responsible for crumbling all of our organizations from within. And it's going to start with political objectives. If your political objective is not in line with ours, then you can't sit in the same room with us.
Right.
We can have a conversation with you if we need to partner on some things. But as for planning and as for preparation and moving this movement, you will not sit at the same table with us. A lot of the reasons why we're being crumbled from within is due to lack of knowledge, lack of transparency, and we have to step up our game.
Yes.
We've been running bootlegs since the 1960s. Okay. That's
Okay.
how we got manipulated into integration, because we had a large population. The population is politically and economically ignorant. We're ignorant,
Yes.
and we have to deal with that. So the way that we're going to combat all of this misinformation and this snitch jacketing, like this one calling this one an agent, hell, we all an agent. And I'm going to tell you why. Every single day that we're still in this political configuration as a simple minority, we're agents of genocide for the next generation. Every last one of us, because we have not solidified a nation for our children. So we would have a way to transfer our human capital, wealth, and resources and leave them some intergenerational wealth. Right now, we are poverty pushers because we have not moved the ball legally or politically to leave our children some breathing room. We're leaving them death. And that's why we're in the situation that we're in. We're leaving our youth death because we have not set any clear political objectives. Yeah, we whisper nationhood, but are we moving towards nationhood? Are we utilizing the political, legal, and political vehicles to formally do that? When you start talking about that, when we filed national liberation status, we had people to say, we just signed our death warrant. Well, hell, every day we wake up in the morning, we sign a death warrant for our youth.
Yes.
It's just a slow death, but it's a death warrant because at any time we could be rounded up and just snuffed out.
So, okay, okay, with the enemies within, that's a clear enemy because they make themselves known that, hey, they're opposing what we're about. You
And you
understand?
remove them, you ask them to leave expeditiously, and if they don't, then we remove them forcefully.
But here, yesterday I was watching a live where and I'm, of course, I'm aware that this is a reality, but it just showed itself yesterday for me to have it as a thought in my mind, where we have those in our ranks who they're they have other motives. You understand? They have
And
other
let me speak
motives.
to that, brother. And
Yeah.
I'm familiar of what you're speaking
Hmm.
on, and I'm going to go ahead and speak to that. Number one, we have legal and political situations within our ranks that should not be spoken about in certain ways publicly.
Right.
That I agree on. But what I will not agree on is any person dictating on who speaks for who. I don't ask permission. If
Yeah.
I see something is wrong and that's a human rights violation, I don't ask permission. I file the paperwork.
Yeah.
I don't ask permission. If I see a downright human rights violation that's a threat to us as a people, because I want you to know we do have collective rights.
Okay.
And we don't need attorneys to assert those rights. Your international rights, you can file a petition and you don't need an attorney.
Hmm.
So if I see I have the proof of a human rights violation, I'm going to get on the phone with a special rapporteur.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm going to file a petition. I'm not asking anybody's permission.
Yes.
So when you know what's right and what's wrong, you don't have to ask anybody's permission. We have collective rights as a group that are being violated, stepped on every single day. And we need people that know what to do to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Not make this movement out of a mockery. Not make what's happening to our brothers and sisters who get out there on the front line out of jokes. Because guess what? Those brothers and sisters could have been sitting on somebody's beach sipping mint juleps and reading a book.
Right. Right.
Rather than out there at some march in the hot sun, organizing formations, getting up in these people's face, putting their own life on the line,
Yeah.
when we know full well what we're dealing with. Okay? We're in a hostile state. We are colonized people. And nobody needs anybody's permission to fight a human rights violation.
Yes.
What happened to both of these brothers are a violation of their civil and political rights. And it's a violation of our rights as well. It's a collective harm. You see, as colonized people, we have rights under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 1, the right to self-determination.
Yes.
Under the 1960 Decolonization Conventions and all of the operational protocols, specifically the one of 1976 that deals with internal conflicts, applies to us. We have international rights. The Fourth Geneva Conventions, we are a special population. Those are collective rights,
Yes.
and they're being violated. Those hostile situations that our brothers are finding themselves in, that deals with their political rights. And it's a collective harm. When they get hit, we get hit.
Right. Right.
So I don't ask permission. I won't ask permission. I'll get on the phone with any special rapporteur if need be. And I don't need a dime to damn do it, because I know how to read. I know how to write. I have an ink pen, and I got paper too. And I got a library too. And I got the damn degrees to back it up. We need to get out of this showboating. We need to get out of this buck dancing. We got Negroes that has been buck dancing for years and has done absolutely nothing to
Yep.
move the ball where we need to go as a people. We have to get out of these mindsets that it's all about me. No, it's all about we
Yes.
and the next generation. I don't want to see my grandchildren having to watch another dead black body drop a snuff film on TV. Like that's the norm. Normalizing colonization, normalizing apartheid. That's why we don't know how to fight this thing, because we have been so miseducated about what our condition really is.
Right.
You don't control anything. You don't own anything. You can't secure your person. We saw that during Hurricane Katrina. We couldn't even get a bottle of water down to those people. We have to put ourselves in a position where we can survive. We're in survival mode. And the people that step up front, we have to support them, not call them agents. Because the same finger that I point at you, I got 3 fingers and a thumb pointing back at myself. Who are you to dictate what a leader is?
Right.
We have no knowledge what our leaders is, because they're always getting snuffed out. And why? Because we have not put in the safety nets that we need to filter out those agents, to filter out those provocateurs, and those snitch jacketing Negroes. Oh yeah, snitch jacketing too. That's when I call you the agent, but I'm the agent.
There's
Let's
a
take a look at an agent.
there's a strategy that I've contemplated for a while, and it's something similar used with in my if you will theological perspective, right? And what it does is it's a way in which we authenticate scholarship. You understand?
Yes.
Those that we can rely on and say, okay, these particular scholars know what they're talking about when it comes to this, and their chain of authenticity goes so far back. Da 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 da. Okay, and I have this opinion that we need a similar infrastructure when it comes to unifying as a people, to where when we do establish what we're seeking, okay, we begin to then develop a core of authenticity. You understand? And those that, and also a core of knowing who is not about this and who is, like you said, a provocateur, who is open opponent from amongst our own people. You
Oh
understand? In
yeah.
other words, those who are on the boat and those who aren't.
That's right.
You
That's
understand? So
true.
that way, the black family, the general population amongst us, know the who's who in the picture. You understand? If you're if you're on the list, so to speak, these aren't folks that are about that business. If you're on this list, so to speak, these are the ones. If you want to know something, if you want to recognize the real, these are the ones you want to sit there and make sure you're tapped into or linked into. You understand? Like that.
Well, technology, brother, is going to play a key role in it, and there's some things that we can do
Yeah.
in order to do that, and we're going to put that in place by the 21st. And again, some of these documents, we're going to make those official once you put your stamp of approval on them, and we'll put those on the website too. We're going to put the infrastructure in place for this movement. This is an official movement. This is not a game. We don't have time to keep playing games. We're playing games with our youth lives. That's why they don't respect us. We don't give them anything to look forward to. We've done absolutely nothing because we were handed nothing.
Yes.
And every single day that we're in this political configuration as a simple minority, we're handing our children's wealth to the wolves. We're handing our children to the wolves to be carted off to FEMA camps. They're already carted off to jails and foster homes. We've done nothing as a people, and we're doing nothing because we haven't come together to put in clear political objectives. Now, here's the thing. If you want to remain in your political status, then you stay where you are. But if you're ready to move on, to exercise self-determination, we will have a platform, we will have a political organ and a political vehicle That's the precursor to nationhood.
Yes.
Our rights were declared in 2017 and it was reiterated in 2018. And every chance I get, I'm submitting something and putting it on the table of what we are and what has happened to us. And
Yeah.
I'm not asking for nobody's permission.
Brother Shaka, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, before I ask you, before I present this, I'm going to shift this a little, just a little bit. Before I do that, though, I want to respond to something I'm seeing. You know, we definitely want that our children and children's children have a better, you know, circumstance than what we're enduring ourselves in our time. But in order for that to happen, in order for our children, our grandchildren to benefit properly, we need to be making the right steps right here and now. We need to be making the right moves right now. We no longer have the luxury of waiting for some other day. You understand, to you know to get where we're trying to get, to strive for what we're trying to strive for. There's, the preaching has already been done. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
The lectures have been had. There's plenty of books you can read about all that we've been through throughout the ages. You understand? You've got every resource that you name to let you know what time it is today. So we're in a day where now it's time to bring the food out the oven. You understand? And
Mm-hmm.
serve. So we no longer have, the luxury to wait around anymore. We're doing it now time. You
That's
understand?
right.
So on brother Shaka, I've got a question. Um, like I said, this is shifting the something here. Recently there was a live in which one of our hosts, one of our brothers, was interviewing an individual, and what came to my thought, and I had I posted a video about this, is are the white savior syndrome, the white hero syndrome, the white wannabe ally syndrome. Okay, and that's not saying that there aren't any people out there that mean well, that they're really wanting to support or whatever, but you know. The thing that I'm pointing out is that because they get this notion that because they spoke so eloquently, or because they spoke so heartfeltly, or because whatever, that by default we should just eh, take it for granted that, hey, these are good guys. And my problem with that is that's how we got in this situation to begin with, by taking for granted ones like these. They came at us with bells, whistles, crescents, crosses, statues, you name it, smiles and friendly handshakes, and next thing you know, by the tons, we end up on boats in shackles and chains. You
Yep.
understand? But when you tell them this, they get angry with you, like, bro, well, I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm like, well, I hear you saying you're serious, but pardon me if I'm not so quick to believe anything you're saying. You understand? Pardon me if what I see is just another white man or a white woman with the same game. You know, can you break that down for me?
Um, well, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Muhammad Ali who said, if there's, and this is just paraphrasing because I don't remember it verbatim, but I know he mentioned something about if there's snakes at his front door, should he open up the door to the snakes to figure out which one of the snakes is good,
Right.
and that's pretty much sums up what he was trying to say, is that you know you don't have time to try to sort through to see who's good, you know and we in a position right now where, if we be honest, a lot of those people here, they do speak good, they very articulate and trying to fight, or claim that they're fighting for our behalf,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time they benefit from our captivity. They benefit from our ignorance. They're still living off the wealth, the land that our ancestors were sacrificed for. So how much fighting will they do for us?
Right.
We have to question ourselves on that. Um, we do have allies out there, but that say that they are out, to deal with us and help us out, and and all these little different things that I've seen, that our people will gravitate towards them, and we'll be saying the exact same thing as those individuals, but they will not rock with us. They would rather go to them and get the information and unite and support. You know what I'm saying? But someone who looks exactly like them, who comes from the same background,
Hmm.
upbringing, a lot of times they don't receive from us.
Well,
You see what
see,
I'm saying? So
look, here's the problem that I'm trying to to dig in here. Um, One is,
I,
we're dealing with um, the white, the concept of right according to the white. You understand?
mhm,
And as I mentioned in the talk, I said, look, um, they thought it was right to enslave us. You understand? They
mhm,
weren't believing that they were doing something evil. You
right,
understand? They were believing that they were upholding a righteous cause. You understand? They were waving the flag of Christianity and whatnot while they were
right,
doing it, while they were burning us, while they were killing us and hanging us and standing around to smile about it. Okay,
right,
so why am I saying this? Because you're saying that there are people out there that are supportive, but what I'm saying is while that may be true, and this is a very cautious situation to be in.
well,
Um,
brother,
because
if I may jump in, and I want to define what you're saying,
yeah,
and I want to cut through the chase,
okay,
and I want to reiterate how things will our relationship, and what you're talking about is how do we continue to define our relationship with Europeans.
yes,
Well, first we have to define how we're going to have a relationship with each other.
right,
That's number one.
okay,
Now, once we've built our nation, do we not want to do business with Europeans? No, we want to do business with everybody. Will they not be welcome in our areas? Yeah, they got some money. Yeah, we want your business.
right,
You want to buy some property? You
mm,
want to be part of what we're doing? We don't have a problem with that. But what we want is control.
right,
yes,
Now,
right,
when I got a problem with you, black or white, when you tell me I don't have a right to control my own destiny,
or we are not
when we don't have a
intelligent
right to,
enough.
and we're
right,
not intelligent enough, and we're not ready. I've heard some white people
Yes,
say, well, Black America is not ready for what you're
yeah, yeah.
proposing.
It-
They were not ready.
Okay,
I
look,
had a
look.
professor to say we were not
Oh,
ready for
man.
nationhood in the 1960s.
yep.
So look,
No,
What
you
we
were not
crawl
ready
before
to
we
turn
walk.
us loose because you were using us to keep this economy going so you can keep buying those weapons to reinforce your
right.
status quo. That water.
It,
Let's get real. Let's cut through the chase and talk about it now.
and again, that white, the right, the concept of right of the white is going on here because see when they're in what I'm seeing is a pattern here. Whenever it comes to the so-called whites standing up for blacks, it's not for them to aid us in building our own nation. It's
Right.
for them
Mm-hmm.
to aid us in further integrating with them. You
Yes.
understand? I'm hearing these people talking about, let us all get along, let's end all racism. Well, the thing is, when they're saying that, okay, it's just like saying all lives matter. When you're saying end all racism, this is what one person is touting. And why am I?
Mm-hmm.
Because the source of the problem isn't racist black folk. You understand? The source of the problem is people who are hindering us being unified and being our own. You understand?
See, let me
Go ahead.
jump in here,
Yeah.
and I want you all to understand me. You see, as long as we're falling for that
Hmm.
conjecture,
Mm.
I'm all about you. See, we have a political power that we have not harnessed here. And because we stay in this integrationist, this policy of integration, and we still subscribe uh, to the integrationist and paternalistic policies and legislation and those old food programs. Not to say that we don't need the food, but what I'm
Mhm.
saying is, if we had our own land, we grow our own food. We
Right.
have our own economy. Matter of fact, we had that, but I forgot. And during Reconstruction, you needed to rebuild the South, so you took it.
Right.
So let's cut through the
Right.
chase. We don't have to vote in their system. We can create our own government. It's
Yes,
been done
ma'am.
by colonized people all over the world. We have a legal right to practice internal sovereignty, and that's what we propose that we do.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if we have white people that support this endeavor and that's willing to donate to us financially and offer some material support, we have no problem with that.
Right.
If they support our right to self-determination, coming in as an insular nation, I have no problems with their support,
Right.
but they will not control
There
anything.
won't be no
Right.
We have to
dictation.
control our own destiny. And any white person, whether they are black or white, that do not agree that we have a right to have our own government
Yes.
that represent our interests and our interests first,
Yes.
right here on this soil. When there's other groups that has done it, other colonized people has done it, has not, and doing so will not pose a threat to the United States territorial integrity,
Hmm.
Right.
then you can't be our friends.
But they'll say we're racist though with having that perspective.
Well,
They'll
no,
call us
they
racist.
just don't. No.
It's the
See,
other way around.
It's the other way around.
If you don't want to
Because,
see
see,
us
we
on the
know what's
same
wrong.
level as you, then you're a racist. If you don't want to
That's
see
right.
us on the same level as you, because let's be honest, we keep asking for equality.
Right.
There's no such thing as equality if we don't have exactly what they have. They'll never see us as equal as we don't if we don't have what they have. If we don't
Thank
have
you.
our own land, if we don't have our own language, our own institutions, we cannot consider ourselves ever equal with them. We're getting hand-me-downs from them at all
Thank
times.
you. Thank you, Shaka.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And you got Negroes that slithering around in our movement that don't feel the same way you do.
Right.
So before we get to the white folks, we got to deal with the internal.
Some serious house cleaning.
Yes, we got to
Wow.
do some house cleaning, because that's why you keep seeing the infiltration. That's why you keep seeing the snitch jacketing, because we're not on the same political page.
I
Once
would
we
like,
get on the same political page and get it together internally, in which I hope this is what we do, because I'm not coming all the way to Cleveland, Ohio, just to sit around and have tea and sip on mint
Right.
julep.
Right.
We're going to do some serious brainstorming, planning, and put some concrete safety nets in place, so when something does go down like it happened with Jay, something does go down like it's going down with Brother Ozone, we'll have the legitimate documentation to fight it.
Yes.
Because
Can I
we'll
make
know
a-
who's
Yeah.
who.
can I make
Right
a,
now, we don't know
suggestion?
who's who. You don't have to be an agent working for the United States government. You could be an agent because you're sitting in the same room with us and you're not on the same page.
Right.
You're in our planning, in our meetings. Get them out.
Yes.
I would like to interject something on that along those lines or whatever, and suggest that if it's not already thought out, do you guys plan to actually do what you're doing on the 21st again somewhere else? Like, because I think it would be a great thing to go on a tour doing that same thing, bringing people together in these different areas, connecting with different leaders in different areas. We're actually going to be having a summit in October, in Dallas, Texas.
All these things, brother, all these things that you're talking about right now, this initial August 21st, if you will, think of it as the seed initiating, both the protocol, the code, everything, the package of what we need to bring about a realistic unification process. Realistic, like she's talking about, legal, political, all the things that where it's not just talk anymore. You understand that this is official and officiated and made authentic by us. We're
Right.
accepting our own pretext. We're accepting our own what we're establishing, and submitting to it, agreeing to it. You understand? Signing to it. So as far as how often this will happen, where it will happen, all that we'll get the know-how. We'll get to know
Right.
August 21st. You
That's
understand?
right.
That's all this will be put on the round table for discussion, and the objective of a round table is to be able to find out where we meet in agreement.
That's
Where
right.
are we are all on a code? And once we've established a common code from amongst each other, we manifest it, we live according to it, and anything outside of that is exempt.
You
I mean,
are
anything
enemy.
outside of that is not qualified to participate.
That's
Right,
right.
right.
And we're gonna just ask you to remove yourself one time.
Yeah.
We're not gonna
Well,
be.
I definitely am on board with what you guys are doing. Like I say that Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz couldn't make it, but he
Hmm.
told me specifically that he's on board and that he will try to make other meetings. The same thing with my General Yakanan. He also stated that he's not able to do morning meetings, but he would like to meet with you guys sometime in the evening.
Yeah.
And we're big on separation. The media has tried to demonize the new Black Panther Party because they supported the 60s Panthers because the 60s Panthers were what you call intercommunalists.
Yeah.
They believe in intercommunalism. That means anybody that's within that community, whether it's white or whatever, we all come together and we do this. We do this for the community, which is beautiful. I believe that that's understanding, but that's a good thing and a good way of thinking. But they were against nationalism.
Yes.
So because we are about nationalism, that's one of the main reasons why we get attacked and we
Right.
get they'll try to attack our character, and make it look like, okay, we're all just about hatred and all those different things. But
Mhm.
our organization is not about hatred. The
Right.
New Black Panther Party and other organizations that have the same ideology, we have had people to come in and go on the extreme side to distract people and turn them away from what we're initially about. What we're initially about is Black nationalism,
Yeah.
self-determination. In our
Mhm.
platform, on our 10-point platform, the first number one of that platform is we want freedom. We want the power to practice self-determination to determine the destiny of our community and the Black nation.
Mm.
You see, this is what the new Black Panther Party stands on, and this is the original teaching of the 60s Panthers. But they I don't think they were coming from it from a nationalist point of view. In this day and time, we come from a nationalist point of view because self-determination is an international legal term.
Yes.
It's not just
Legal
a
doctrine.
declaration. It's not just a declaration. It's a act,
Yes.
and that's what we want to put into place and emphasize to our people that we're about in this day and time, because you got a lot of people running around with these RBG flags, these red, black, and green flags, and they're not. Which when you got these flags, you're saying that you are a nation.
Yes. Yes.
Most people are
Mm.
using these, our own people are using these flags to draw our people, but they're not teaching nationalism.
Mm.
They're teaching integrationalism, reform, and not really revolution. Revolution is a drastic change, and the drastic change that we need is, I would say, separation. And I'm not saying we don't deal with anybody, because that's not realistic. Realistically, every nation has they have foreign relations.
Yes.
They have ambassadors. So we definitely would still deal with others, but we're saying we want our own, and that's what the new Black Panther Party is about. That's what the People's New Black Panther Party is about. We're on the verge of merging, reuniting with our original group. And there are other groups, the Huey P. Newton Gun Club, other gun clubs, and other militia groups that are coming together. The things that you guys are saying is very powerful for us to coming together. And when you come together, and like you guys are doing, putting together the paperwork, we're coming to agreements. And
Yeah.
we're signing this contract, and we're saying this is what we're standing on. This is what we all believe in. That's very important. That way, if someone starts to deviate or break away
Yes.
from that,
Yes.
we have to brand those individuals and let everyone know this individual is not of what they say that they of.
That's right.
They
Yeah.
won't go to another group and deceive and distract.
That's right.
You
That's
got
right.
people with ulterior motives joining these groups
Mm.
and
That's
trying
right.
to redirect these groups. You see
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? People
Control
getting-
opposition.
Exactly.
Control
Like-
opposition. And that's one thing that Brother Ramsey speaks about.
Right, right.
It's control opposition to take you from here to there.
In a
That's why
whole
when
nother
people,
direction.
yeah, so that's why when people tell me this one and that one is an agent, your test for me is when you take me away from that ball of nationhood.
Right,
You're an agent.
right.
You're an agent. But it was Malik Zulu Shabazz who gave the African descendant nation a platform to stand
ma'am.
on and
Yeah.
to bring nationhood to the forefront. It was Grandmaster J who declared a national state of emergency
Yes,
for
ma'am.
our nation. He did it. He didn't hesitate.
Yep.
And because of that, he's been targeted.
Yes.
That's what that brother did. He's not an agent. Keep his name out your mouth. You
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
know him. Stop calling him an agent.
Right.
His very the fact, because he had the capacity to do what we need to do legally.
Mhm.
He
Yeah,
was
and that's what it is. That's what it is. Out of ignorance, people will say that he's an agent because he has done things in a legal manner to protect his people.
Thank
And,
you.
and last time I checked, the agents are the ones who get individuals locked up, get them to
Thank you.
intimidate themselves, get them to cause confusion within the groups.
Thank you.
You know, have people going way off of course. So I don't see how that man could be considered. I know individuals that's in the movement now that have done so much to cause division, but not one time have I heard these individuals be called agents. And I've even heard that it's paperwork on these individuals proving that they're agents. But you know what I'm saying? But no one really wants to deal with these individuals as such. But when you got a brother who, like you say, have claimed before all the people that he brought into his presence, national liberation for his people, really wanted to see us free and become our own, and even was on the news telling people, we want Texas. We want Texas. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's bold to me. That's boldly saying, look, we want our own. Well, from what I've always seen, an agent is going to want you to stay connected because they want to be able to sit next to the oppressor and help the oppressor rule over you. They don't want you to leave. They want you to help them worship their oppressors.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
They want
And
you to love them like they love them.
That's right. That's right, Brother Shaka. And that's why I'm hoping of all people that you are there, because you know we built our relationship when we first started that nation.
Yes.
And that's why I'm so happy to see you rise to the top the way that you're rising. And
you gave me political aim, sister, and I really appreciate you. It was a time where I almost gave up because I was seeing the things that, you know, believe it or not, we get more attacks from our own people.
Right.
You know, and I've thought about giving up at times. But when you gave me, you know, the political aim that taught me about human rights, you know, taught me that, you know, we need to get the consent of the people, you know, to and go before the UN and plead our case with them and let it be known that we want the same exact rights. We want to exercise our rights, you know, to self-determination and decolonization. We demand decolonization because we are indigenous to this land. We're indigenous to this planet as a whole. So, you know, I you gave me, you know, inspiration. So I appreciate you big time. I thank you for always giving me good advice and all that, you know. So, you know, you most definitely gonna continue to be somebody I come to.
Well, I hope you can come with us out, you know, come to Cleveland, so you can be part of what me and Brother Abuadu is doing. Yeah. We are putting together a legal structure to vet our issues, and we're going to have different levels of security when it comes to information and different levels of security when it comes to certain documents.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that we are in national liberation status and we have asserted our international rights to self-determination, we have to immediately put out these fires that we have and secure the rights for those who have got caught up, that are legitimately caught up and that needs our help. Me and Brother Abuadu, we are going to put in some official safety nets.
Yes.
Well, we're going to squash all of this snitch jacketing and this hybrid warfare we see and this controlled opposition. we're gonna put something in so sweet, they're gonna
Yes,
look,
indeed.
they're gonna run away from us. They're
Yes,
gonna
indeed.
run away from us like a roach run away from raid.
Well, hey, I'm gonna always stay connected to you all, even if I can't make that trip. I want to make that trip. I'm gonna be looking to see what I can do to try to make that trip. I am.
Definitely hope you can.
I
Yeah.
got, yeah, I'm trying to get married. You, I'm trying to,
Well,
put the
maybe
money
we can put
aside
up a
for that.
GoFundMe for your plane tickets to fly in and fly out.
Yeah.
It's something we can do because
Yeah,
this is going to be big and it's very
You know.
important. Brother Eduardo is a tech person. He's highly intellectual. That's why I'm like, okay, I got Pendo Center. We got to get you.
Mm.
So it will behoove you to be there, so
Yes,
you
indeed.
can
We've
be a
got
part
work
of
to
what.
do. We've got
This
work
is
to do.
Malik calling right now. Hold on.
Okay. Yes, indeed. We've got our work cut out for us, and that's why we can't give up. We can't, tap out because the thing is when you're doing this kind of work, you're going to expect that the people that you're doing it for are going to still be who they are. We're still who we are. We're still,
Mm-hmm,
we've still got dirt on our clothes, so to speak. We're still, suffering. We're still in the condition that we're fighting to get out of. So while we're
mm-hmm,
in that condition, you can only expect, to deal with the experiences that come with that. You understand?
mm-hmm.
So we can't give up. You understand? Just like we wouldn't want anyone to give up on us. You understand? At any step of the way, we can't give up. There are those that are adamant enemies within our ranks. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
these steps that we're approaching end up creating like a funnel that sift all that madness out, that that if it's not going through this channel of communication, this channel of operations, then it must not be legit. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It must not,
Mm-hmm.
if it's not approved here, if it's not authenticated here from a black sitting, from a black committee, a black established, think tank, whatnot, then you might as well, count it out because it must not be, who they say they are, what they say they are. You understand?
That's right. We're gonna set up a model, and we're gonna put some safety nets in place where they'll automatically weed themselves out.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the gist of what we do, because like I said, we are in genocidal conditions. We own and we control nothing. We've been playing around for too many years, and it's time to stop.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's time to stop and get serious about what we're trying to do. So like I said, I look forward to joining you in Cleveland
Yes.
on the
Yes.
21st, and I will be there, and I'll have those documents ready.
And family, the viewers, like I said, you can offer your support because we definitely want to make the best out of the situation, to help get, brothers, that may need help with transportation and whatnot to come down here. We've got even individuals, uh, uh, brother Bossman Blake is talked with me, but again, and he's a for those that don't know, Bossman Blake is a very talented artist. You understand? You know, we want to be able to get the best type of interaction, the best type of involvement from amongst ourselves. So we need to support this. We need to for you to donate. We need for you to donate. We've got a small business, a black-owned business that I'm inviting to do the catering and whatnot. Uh, just fresh opened up, you understand? And I want us to be really about it on all levels. You understand? Not just we're not just talking about it. Let's be about it. This is, those that are donating know that you're donating to something that's for you. That's our cause. You're investing in our own collective intellectual body. You
Yes, sir.
understand? So this is you. You understand? Every dollar, every effort that you donate here, this is yours.
Yes, sir. I want to also say real fast that Dr. Shabazz just called me and he wanted to reiterate that he is inviting you guys to the summit in October in Dallas, Texas. and he would love for you guys to share what it is that you're sharing on the 21st as well. Um, it's very important that we stay connected with you guys, no matter
Yeah.
which one we be able to make it to.
Well,
I'm definitely
what we do, Brother Shaka, when me and Brother Abduadu get together,
mhm.
whatever we solidify in time in terms of information, and once we determine how we're going to really authenticate and transmit information and documents, we're going to share that with you all, and
Yes,
then we'll
ma'am.
have it set in a way that you can manipulate the documents
Yeah.
or the information, but it can't be done without going through us authenticating.
Right.
And
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
going to cut down on some of this free basing that we got,
Right,
these
Right.
right.
agents we got slithering around here
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
in
Uh,
terms.
I also I'm also going to be inviting General Yakanan out of Houston, Texas. Hopefully he can make the 21st. I think he will be there definitely in Dallas for the homecoming in October. But I would love to see him. We trying to get him more speaking engagement so people can get a chance to know him and what he stands for. But he's a Hebrew Israelite,
Mm-hmm.
and he definitely believes in separation.
Yeah.
Because we talk about a lot of people talk about the condition that we in, but like I say, I believe that the condition that we in is definitely because we're indulging in a lot of the stuff that we dealing with in this system. you know um Separation is a must, and if anybody that, like you say, anybody that's speaking on that, we need to somehow, some way connect with them.
Yes.
Even if we don't believe in every single thing that they are standing upon, we need to support them on whatever it is that is on that same level. Just like when you look at the movie Wakanda. I know it's with Black Panther or whatever. I know it's a movie, it's a fictional movie, but it was a lot of realistic things that I've seen in there. For example, when they came together on behalf of Wakanda, there were different tribes, and they all have had different traditions, different cultures, but they all came together for one
Mm.
reason, and that's the well being of Wakanda,
Yeah.
and that's what we need to just base everything on is uh, this nationhood. If
That's
we're
right.
not becoming a nation, we're not. If you're holding that flag up and you're not practicing that, we need to call those individuals out. We
Yeah.
need
That's
to
right.
put out propaganda, because the Panthers of old, what they would do was, if you didn't support or give or donate, they would go put flyers up and go door to door and tell people that you were an enemy of the people because you did not support them and they were trying to support the people. So if you're not trying to help somebody do for the people, and we're trying to help, what we're trying to do for the people is help bring upon nationhood for the future of our children and our children's children. If you're not trying to support that, we have to brand these individuals and let it be known
That's
that this
true.
individual is not for your best benefit. They're only trying to keep you up under the oppressor.
And
Right.
and and, and Brother Shaka, I want to reiterate on this. We've already declared nationhood,
Yes, ma'am.
but our people are not ready.
Right.
We are not ready because we're not organized, and we have an ignorant, politically ignorant population that we're dealing with. So
Right.
we're having to back up and use this political vehicle. It's a national liberation status is a political vehicle. It's not, it doesn't mean that you're trying to go to war with the United States, all this, that, and the third. Whoever says that, that is a lie.
Right.
Right.
It's a political vehicle that allows colonized people like ourselves to have observer status at the United Nations and other international agencies such as the Inter-American Court, the European Court, whatever have you. It's a legal and a political apparatus that gives us observer status to the United Nations, where we could go, just like there are different areas. We have a places where we are being gentrified out,
Yeah.
Right.
but we need the money to purchase land or to do development projects. They have agencies at the United Nations like the UNDP, like UNCTAD. They have different agencies like the Inter-American Bank. So this thing, we this is not a mom and pop operation.
Right.
What we're trying to do, We are creating that political space that we need to move the ball into nationhood. We need to look at land. What counties are we the majority population in?
Mm-hmm.
How much land do they have? We need to go in there and take a look at the policing in that area. If that area is 60% of the population, but you only got 5 black police in there, we got a problem.
Right.
We don't want to go in that area because something's wrong with the black political leadership that you allowed that to go on.
Right.
We're going to be taking the pulse of our areas where we're going to be going. So in order to do these things, we needed a political space so we can organize and organize accordingly and be able to put in the infrastructure that we need to take us into nationhood. We got to do a political education, not just amongst the leadership, but amongst the population. We need people who are knowledgeable. We need people to start establishing city councils in these counties so they can go to the county and say, you know what, we need a human rights proclamation. You need to put that human rights proclamation on the table locally so we can assert our land rights and our cultural rights.
Right.
This was supposed to have been done in 2010. Human rights was supposed to have been brought down to on a local level in 2010. But because we are ignorant of our international human collective rights, we still continue to stay within these genocidal conditions and genocidal policies, integrationist policies that is getting us nowhere but further into genocide.
Yeah.
And when you speak on the human rights, right, you're speaking just to clarify, you're speaking about the universal human rights, right?
I'm speaking about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights,
right.
The human rights that we have in this region, which falls up under the Inter-American Convention. We have regional rights. The buck don't stop just with the federal government and with the Supreme Court. You have international rights, and if it don't work out in the Inter-American Court, we'll take them over to Europe, we'll take them there too, or we'll take them to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It don't matter. Just like those Jews, we can chase these people until they give us our reparation and respect our human rights. We'll chase them on canes, walkers, stretchers, and wheelchairs to come clean with our reparations and to give us our autonomy that we need so we can set the stage for this next generation.
Yes, ma'am.
Every last one of us is an agent when we sign on to and we keep co-signing on this status as a simple minority.
Right.
Until we sign the dotted line and raise our own flag, internal flag officially, and create this space officially, internally, you are an agent, I'm an agent, and everybody that got children and grandchildren is an agent.
Right.
Until we make this thing official and we move it.
Here's the bottom line out of all this, out of all of our actions, especially for those, that get all spooked up, you know what I mean, when black folk want to stand up and for justice and whatnot and for unification, everything here is lawful. You understand?
That's right.
We're not, we're not a threat, or some type of what do I want to say?
Terrorists.
Yeah, this isn't no kind of terrorist or action going on here. We're following steps. We're following procedure. We're following
the legal rights.
The legal rights. We're asking for things that we have a right to have. We're striving for things that we have a right to strive for.
Yeah.
Right now, the United States is practicing apartheid against us. How? Because they have us penciled in their constitution as a simple minority. They have us penciled in their policies, their programs, their legislation as a simple minority when we're indigenous to this land. Our ancestors fought right beside those Native Americans. So we should have had the same status. But because they needed our labor and they needed our human capital, they rescinded all of the gains that we had gotten after the Civil War, and that's affecting us today. And you do nothing but transfer poverty to our children.
Yes.
So you all are an agent until we move the ball and get in the correct political status that allows us to control what we need, so we can develop as a people.
Anyone
that's
sending
our souls to hell and those children to a FEMA camp.
Anyone that's not an asset, an operational active asset to moving us forward and unifying us. You understand? They're a hindrance, and they're the agent. They're the obstacle, to our efforts of unification. If if all person is doing is sitting behind a desk, with the efforts of chopping down the black community, chopping down those who stand up, chopping down those who strive and who are doing something, boots on the ground, etc. You understand? These are hindrances. And so we're
Mhm.
having here people who are not just speaking about it, you understand, but we're actually trying to make a difference, a real difference in our time, in real time.
Right.
So with this said, our time is coming down, and I want to present a a time travel question for you guys. 10 years from now, Sister Elena, 10 years from now, you know, what if you could you could just show
10
up
years
10,
from
yeah,
now?
what would you hope to see amongst our people 10 years from now?
Oh man, 10 years from now, where I see us is doing business and trading with you do know that the Afro Brazilians, they have declared their right to self-determination. They're declaring it and
Hmm.
it's on the table. They're actually moving towards it. I'm hoping that we amongst other fourth world nations will be doing trade, will be doing business, doing intellectual transfers. That we will be some global leaders. We will replace the Chinese in Africa,
Mm.
and we'll be over there helping our African brothers and sisters maintain the motherland, because we do have a motherland.
Yes.
In 10 years, I see that we will have been expanding our economy, have a new and fresh economy, internal economy amongst the Native Americans, amongst the Puerto Ricans, amongst the Hawaiians, where we are doing intellectual transfers and we're setting up trade amongst each other, trading different medicines, different herbs, doing trade, different trade and fishery. This is the world that I see for our children, that we have our own policing, where we transfer
Mhm.
police authority to ourselves, where we're policing our own areas, and our areas are safe and our children are safe, and they're becoming very, very, very intellectually capable of and have a curriculum, our own curriculum, that makes them some of the most productive citizens, black US, black Afro descendant citizens in the world, where we can actually compete on a global level for ourselves as a ethno nation, insular ethno nation. That's where I see us. I see that we have our own compact with the United States, treaty or compact, and guarantees of non-repetition, where we have negotiated external sovereignty. That's what I see for us.
Yes.
Anything less is not in my vision.
Right.
And how about you, brother?
Um, my sister pretty much covered a whole lot of it, but
10
mainly,
years.
mainly what she said. When it comes to being able to police our communities. I would love to see the new Black Panther Party, the People's New Black Panther Party, and other organizations like us be able to, police our own communities and see us with a strong army as a whole for our territories,
Yes.
for our own territories, that we could protect our people, that we would not repeat Tulsa, Oklahoma, and not have the manpower to protect our people. I would love to see our people be more of a militant people, practicing self-determination, self-defense, able to just basically feed themselves, anything that pertains to survival. We'll know all that. We'll have all that. That's what I would like to see us, where I would like to see us in the in 10 years in the
Okay.
future.
So we've got a bottom line to give. 2 minutes, or a minute, I should say, of your bottom line, Sister Elaine, to the family.
Unify or die.
Hmm.
That's where we are legally and politically. No more, no less. Unify or die.
Hmm. Yes, indeed. And brother Shaka.
I would like to say train or die, and arm yourselves or harm yourselves. We have to be able to protect everything that you guys, put in place for us, that we help put together. We have to be able to protect that.
Hmm.
We have 3 Ds: develop, defend, define, develop, and defend. Those are the 3 Ds that we have,
Hmm.
and that's what we need to stand upon.
And as for me, for all those that think they know, for all those that that don't take any of what we're doing seriously, you understand? My advice for you, as I always say, snap out of it. And so, with that said, real talk, we want to, we want to make sure that the real are clearly distinct from the fake. We want to make sure that those that are really about this start to, step into the light, so to speak. You understand? And that those that we start networking. You understand that we start being able to have a very strong network, a very strong stream of unified communication, so that we're all on the same page, whether it be from here in Ohio, from Texas, wherever we are, wherever our intellectual bodies are at. You understand? We are so unified that everything else falls in place. You understand? Just like I was saying before in the talk, I don't know if, whoever watched Voltron growing up, Voltron, a cartoon about these robot cats, you understand, that were powered or operated by people. Whenever it came time to, beat up their opponents, you understand, they would be able to fight individually, right? But at the same time, when the opponent got too big, they had to unify, and the head would command every part to come together. Everybody come together. And then finally, when all the parts were together, the head said, now I'll form the head. You understand? So it's amazing that you could get this out of a cartoon, but there's virtues you can find wherever you turn your face, wherever you look, if you know how to find it. So here we are with yet another opportunity in our lifetime, another real opportunity in our lifetime to get this unification thing down pat. We know what our problems are. We know where we fall short. We know the divisions we have, you understand? But we also know what's in our heart. And what's in our heart, those of us that are about black unification, needs to reign superior than the things that divide us. You understand? We think we think we've got it all figured out. No, know what you know, figure out what you figure out, but let's come to the table and find out wherein we are in agreement, wherein we are on common accord, and then let's unify and establish a solid pact, a solid agreement that we will uphold and live by, so that from here on out, this is us. You understand? This is us. So just be black gathering, family. Just be black gathering. The Just Be Black gathering is where it's at, August 21st. Let me do like that. So August 21st, make sure that you keep your antennas, your ears, your eyes open. Keep focused on the goal. Keep focused on the agenda. Support, support the movement. Support the cause. GoFundMe, the Just Be Black Gathering. Cash App, the Light Dome. Like I said, your support, your efforts is what helps to make this uh, a successful endeavor, because this is us. We're not going to the people across the street. We're not going to the other man looking for a handout. You understand? We want this to be thoroughly through and through about us, for us, motivated by us, moved by us, authorized by us. You understand? Everything. You understand? Holding each of us accountable from us. Yeah, the cowards, they can run away and run to the man. You understand? But the real, once we agree to this, we hold ourselves to account. We stand upon our own code. We stand upon our own harmony. We unify upon our own principles. This is us.
Yes,
Just be
sir.
black, family. Just be black. So I definitely appreciate our guests that were here with us today, Sister Elaina and Brother Shaka, and we definitely, look
Thank you
forward
for having
and honestly that they will be able to make it to Cleveland, Ohio on the 21st of August. And also all the others that are adamant about this. The more participation, the more sitting, taking a seat at the table, to get this happening the proper way. You understand? The better. You understand? We want to make sure that look that there's no T's that haven't been crossed and no I's that haven't been dotted. We want to make sure that when we that this is clean, crystal clean, and as smooth as possible of an endeavor. So, with that said, beloved black family, you stay in the mercy and blessings of the Most High. Stay unified. We got a brother who was trying to call me. I'm gonna call him back. Um, Stay unified and stay on code. You understand? I'm going to let you know it like this. We've got all kinds of shenanigans going on in the community. When we stay on code, all that stuff becomes irrelevant because we'll know who's real, who's fake. We'll know who's coming up with some kind of bogus money scam or some kind of bogus gimmick or whatnot. You understand? And we'll also know the people that are real. You understand? And so that if there are provocateurs, if there are agents and coons and whatever, we'll sift them out and get them out. You understand? You understand? And we'll make sure that we're protecting those who are real and that we're supporting those who are real. You understand? And ignoring those who are outside of this because they'll end up being outside of this who insist on chopping down those on the front line, those standing up, who insist on trying to defame and trying to discredit while they do nothing but yap their mouth. Like I said, snap out of it. So this is what we got to do. We got our work cut out for us. This is real. We got to take ourselves seriously. If we can't take ourselves seriously, who the heck will? Who in the world will? Okay, you want that man to take us seriously, the white man to take us seriously, the China man to take us seriously. Okay, we got to take ourselves seriously. And even if none of them ever do, we got to take ourselves seriously. Point blank, period. You understand? It's us, about us, that this is all about. You understand? This is us doing for us. So, with that said, beloved black family, I appreciate your time. I appreciate us, your us coming together to hear out our guests and make sure that you're about that cause. A hashtag free ozone, hashtag free brother spite, free spite, hashtag exonerate GMJ. It don't stop. It don't stop. All your haters go away. It don't stop because we're going to just keep on saying hashtag exonerate GMJ. I don't care how you feel about the brother. Hashtag exonerate GMJ. Hashtag free ozone. Hashtag free brother Sprite. Brother Spite. Hashtag black unity. Hashtag just be black. Okay, like it or not, this is where it's at. You can always go to another YouTube channel and be entertained all day long. You can always sign up to Disney Plus and all these other things and entertain yourself to death. You can always do all that. But when you come over here, when you come this way, recognize that we're about that business. You understand? We're about getting this really done. And we're about relying upon ourselves. You understand? We're about depending upon ourselves, standing up ourselves, and like the brother said, loving ourselves. That's what this is about. You understand? So if you're real, you know what time it is. You know what to do. If you're about this cause, you know what time it is. I don't need to. I don't have to keep explaining. Just make sure you're conscious. Make sure you're staying on code, beloved black family. So this is your brother Abdul Wadud, aka Questman, souljourneyoflife.org. Make sure you got marked on your calendar August 21st, the Just Be Black gathering. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, hotep, peace be with you, beloved black family. Mhm.